Welcome, friends. We have a special guest with us today, all the way from India. Dayana is with us. How you doing, Dayana?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing really good. I made it to India safe and sound, and I've been here 3 weeks now. It's been an incredible trip. I've never seen so many coconut banana trees behind me. The sun is rising, and I have the most incredible view here of this gorgeous Indian Ocean. So yeah, I'm doing good, doing a lot of reflecting, and yeah, excited to talk about the stars with you. How are you doing, Martin?
I'm well. I'm well. I've been struggling with some illness there and had a little bit of a relapse after the video I did yesterday. I wanted to express my deep gratitude for all the blessings I received. All our friends that listened to our videos sent me some blessings of healing. So I want to acknowledge them. And where are you in India?
I am in Kerala. So if you imagine India, the giant like continent, I'm on like the south tip on the west side. And in about a week's time, I'll be on the east side, a bit more north. But yeah, most of my time so far has been all here on the southwest.
Wonderful, wonderful. So today we're going
Mhm.
to do a video the whoops, on the full moon in Libra lunar eclipse, Monday, March 25th, 2024 at midnight. Something
Wow, it's exactly at midnight.
exactly at midnight.
Cool.
And so I call this something big is brewing. And
Love the title.
well, sometimes you don't want to be alarmist, but or put too much into things or to be too subjective. But it feels really to me, like big events in the world are usually felt ahead of time. We
Mm.
see them. Jung was doing that in the dreams of his clients and in his own dreams. He would uh, see events before they would happen, and also. As astrologers, we look at the astrology of the times. We've been looking at this very big Jupiter Uranus conjunction that's approaching.
Mhm.
And then we're in eclipse season. We have Mercury retrograde coming, and all of that energy builds to that Uranus and Jupiter conjunction. And so, it's events, big events, collective events are like big waves, right? And a wave, you don't see it till it starts becoming close to the shore, and then it climbs, and then it gets really high and breaks. You don't see much break. Oh, you got some nice breakers out there.
Yeah, I was like, you're
So,
explaining what I'm looking at. Keep explaining, I'll show.
and so events are like that. And then when the wave breaks, it goes into the shore and it's experienced for some time. So waves are like that, events are like that. And to me, it just feels like the times are pregnant. We've been going through this gestation involved with all the planets in Pisces, and we've been living a lot of Plutonian energy throughout the winter. How you been feeling that?
I've been feeling it. I mean, getting here and doing all this was definitely, I was very in my own subjective process a lot. And then after about a week and a half, I settled more in. I'm at Ava's ashram at Amriti Puri. So after I settled into the flow here, um, I really started becoming more aware of greater events. There's so many people internationally here. So I've met people from all around the world and just talking about politics and the wars going on. And there's been a lot of awareness of kind of what's going on in the whole world more. Um, and then just in my body and in my reflections every day, all day, I find there is this like bigger energy brewing. And yeah, I love your title because I feel that in my body a lot right now. Like there's something coming. Last night I had a dream that brought up the April 10th, and I don't know if that was a personal thing or a collective thing, but that was a pretty powerful dream. There was like energy that a big shift was coming, and everybody needed to be somewhere safe for April 10th. I don't know why or what that was about fully. Could be personal. As you were talking about the waves, though, it reminded me also of the power of Five Rhythms, which is a dance meditation practice by Gabriel Roth. I think I've mentioned it in these videos before, but it's the 5 stages of process of anything. So the flowing, the water is flowing in the water or the ocean, let's say. And then the staccato rhythm is the building, increasing. And then chaos is where we let go of control, not lose control, but let go of control. And that's when the wave breaks. And then lyrical is the reintegration, and then stillness as it comes into its new form and settles. And I feel like with all these conjunctions coming up, there's a lot of things about to or just started in new processes within us. And so that can feel like a whole wave breaking as we're like letting go of old things and coming into new, and that can feel pretty chaotic at times, or it can feel more settled. I guess it depends on your chart and your personal experience, but anyways, we can jump into the chart when we're ready for that one.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, let's look at the chart of the full moon. It's an eclipse, so we're in eclipse seasons. These are very important times in the unfolding of the year. We have 2 eclipse season in the year. So this is the Libra full moon lunar eclipse. Something big is brewing. And we have, in this eclipse, we have a Sun Neptune conjunction, which is in opposition to the eclipse moon. And the Sun Neptune conjunction makes a sextile to Pluto, and Pluto makes a trine to the moon. And those are the only planets that the full moon aligns with. And so the Neptunian energy, I think that we've been experienced for the last week or so, the Sun conjunction with Neptune. And so, in Pisces, so the fog has been very deep, it's hard to get clarity. I think the cold that I have is a very Neptunian cold, it doesn't make any sense. So there's that Sun Neptune conjunction. And then Pluto, we've been talking lots about Pluto all winter long about this need for death and rebirth. And so that's a big, collective powers bear down on our individual needs. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. And then, I mean, I'd say that from the sextile, but what about the fact that it's trining the moon? The moon in Libra is like our relationships and other people. I guess that's the piece too of bearing down.
Yes, yes. Well, the sun and the moon representing our own masculine side and our own feminine side. So the sun in Aries seek to be extroverted and get out into the world. Libra is also very extroverted, but it's about relationships and the balance between, Aries and Libra, the need to act and to go into the hero's quest. That's Aries, and Libra is the need to honor everyone and to make sure we don't step on anybody's toes and we live in harmony with others. And so, that's the axis of Libra and Aries. But then with Neptune there, our personal needs, they're not very clear. Where we're going is not very clear. It's very Neptunian fog, the direction. And then the Pluto energy kind of says, well, You know, there's a powerful death and rebirth that you've been facing. There's a new you emerging, yes, but the old you still as the collective you, your ancestral line, and the story, Neptunian story of redemption, and the Plutonian story of transformation. You know, and then because those two energies are very collective, then we're prone to feel that uh, bearing down upon us at this full moon. Does that make sense?
I love it. Thank you. Sorry, I missed if you said a last word there. I was just my phone might die soon already, and so I'm trying to figure out how to charge it while having my headphones in, which is proving to be difficult because there's only one slot.
Well, we're gonna speed up through the process here, and our viewers will understand if you disappear. After all, I'm in Vancouver Island, and you're in India. Amazing what technology allows us to do. And so let's look at the other factor, and that's three conjunctions in our need to energetically assert our creative voice. And so then we have the Venus Saturn conjunction in Pisces. Of course, we have the Sun Neptune, that's another conjunction, but then we have the Chiron Mercury and the Jupiter Uranus, and Jupiter Uranus, Chiron Mercury, and Venus Saturn are engaged in this little triangle there, making no angle to the moon itself, so that's very fascinating in terms of what the energies are saying. So let's flesh that out a little bit.
They don't look to be even making angle to. Can you hear me? Sorry,
Yep.
first question. Yeah.
Yep.
They don't even look to be making angle to the sun either.
No, not
That's
to
where
the
I felt
sun.
things are kind of gray and blurry right now, but I feel a lot below the surface collectively and internally shifting. It's like, yeah, really just needing to ride the wave and trust that the other side will bring clarity. The only thing I've been clear about is how unclear things are.
And that's clear. There's that things are unclear. Well, let's break out each conjunction. So, of course, the Jupiter Uranus, we've been spending a lot of time talking about that. Jupiter, emancipation and enthusiasm, and the wise teacher, and Uranus, the great revolutionary light bringer. So then that Jupiter Uranus, we've been talking about it for a year now, and it's been building, and then towards the end of April it becomes exact, and so we're very much in the intensity of it. The wave is breaking, and so I think that's part of this anticipation we're all having, with something about to break, about to actually unfold in our personal lives and collectively. So that's that Jupiter Uranus conjunction. How's the Jupiter Uranus conjunctions been going for you?
Good. Probably the emancipation is like showing up in my life as well, really just calling back my energy and my sovereign right and ability as a human to live my own path and my own way. But then also at the same time, there's sorry. But then also at the same time, leaving my job, I think, was a huge shift and emancipating for myself in my own process. I see a lot of people, maybe it's also because I'm at the ashram, but so many people have left their job and they're trying to figure out what's next in their life. And so it's a really beautiful process, but it's also a very vulnerable process.
It seems to be a lot of what we're all going through is a process of redefinition. And so that's that Jupiter Uranus, and we're going to keep an eye on that. With the next eclipse also, it's going to be exact. So this eclipse season is going to be very meaningful, and hopefully we'll get the clarity that we need as we move forward. Then something that we're going to be visiting a lot over this spring is the Mercury Chiron conjunction, because Mercury is about to go retrograde on the 1st. On the 20th, Mercury makes a conjunction with Chiron. And then on the return pass, we have a Mercury Sun Chiron conjunction. And then when Mercury turns direct, again in May, we'll make another conjunction with Chiron in Aries. And so this Chiron in Aries and this Mercury Chiron conjunction, so addressing the parental or the ancestral wound and giving it a voice, Mercury seems to be a very important part of this renewal that we're all in. Does that make sense to you?
Definitely, yeah. There's a lot of like, yeah, needing to speak to that which we've healed and that which we need to heal. And a whole like a big light being shone on it right now with the sun there.
Yes, yes. And with the next new moon, the Libra new moon, will have Sun, Moon, Mercury retrograde, and Chiron, almost all exact. And in a lot of parts of the states and in Quebec, that that eclipse will be visible. So that's going to be a very big, kind of marker on our timeline. So then we have this, full moon on the 25th, and then April 8th. All of these energies will be playing itself out in that time. And one of the last things is this Venus Saturn conjunction. And then the Venus, then the Mars Saturn conjunction. And Venus is exalted in Pisces, so that's a very beautiful, loving, but Saturn, in this grim reaper. And so then this need for discipline and creating the safe container, it's really quite important. How is your Saturnian, Venusian, Martian energies going these days for you?
Very alive. When you were sharing that, I just saw like Persephone, it's like her time to go back down to Hades. And there's a beautiful initiation in that process that even though it can be hard or the world might miss her, like everything in the myth, everything in the world kind of dies at that time.
Yeah.
Or without sunshine, without the love and beauty as much, it goes within. In my personal process, I've had a huge need and calling to really acknowledge my need for creativity and to be embodied in my creativity, and
Right.
and then the challenges and struggles that come when that's not the case, feeling like what is so off, and then when I really check in deep, it's like the need to just to draw or to sing or to dance or to be taking care of my body. Like all of these very Venusian things are very calling for my attention, and if I discipline myself to take care of that part of me, I feel much more level-headed and like I can manage everything and
That's
focus
beautiful.
on my forward motion.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I've been studying a lot about the sacred feminine and the evolution of the sacred feminine, and the manifestation of Sophia as the ultimate expression of the feminine, the feminine wisdom of God, and so that's been a really important theme in the readings I've been doing lately. We're kind of, all of us, men and women, have to learn to live the feminine in with more wisdom. The last video I did was living our acquired wisdom. And so then that Sophia is the embodiment of that sacred wisdom of the feminine, and so that has been really sent, and I think that Saturn Venus conjunction can be helpful in that.
I love that. I also see how like Venus being more earthly love and Neptune being more spiritual love, there's this need for, like, there's a lot of need for love right now, loving ourselves and being patient with this transformation, loving and accepting and being compassionate towards each other, because we collectively need to be doing these shifts together. We're not isolated beings, even though we're in an isolated body. We're doing this together more than we know, I believe. And so yeah, just a huge need to soften and allow that Sophia through, and also allow ourselves to be compassionate to ourselves and each other. I think that's a huge piece of the Saturn Venus, but also the Sun Neptune.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So here, let's look at the alchemical opportunities that are presenting themselves. I think that our time limit here in our phone and your phone and all of that. So let's look at that. So on March 19, the sun entered into Aries. Then we have the 22nd, and then on the 20th, then we have the first Mercury Chiron conjunction. Then we have Venus-Saturn conjunction on the 22nd. Also Mars entering Pisces. So we're not done with the Piscean energy, huh? There's still a lot of Pisces energy out there.
Wow. The fog might just only slightly lift.
Well, Saturn and Neptune are going to be in Pisces for quite a while still, and they have been, for the last few years. But Venus will fly right through, and so will Mars. And when Venus and Mars enter into Aries, I think that energy of Jupiter Uranus will be more accessible. All of that, Aries energy will really be manifested. So there's still kind of a cloud of Piscean energy out there, that lack of clarity.
Doing art and taking care of your inner needs, because there may be less. It may be a good time to practice getting disciplined about it, because there may be less availability to it in the coming weeks and months.
That's a beautiful point. That leads us to the March 25th Libra full moon. And then April 1st, huh? Isn't that ironic how the universe has a sense of humor? Yeah. April's Fool's Day. Mercury turns retrograde. Woohoo! And then the big April 8th Aries new moon solar eclipse. That's going to be very significant. So this is the eclipse season. And then we have April 10th, Mars Saturn conjunction. And then April 11th, Sun Mercury conjunction. And, that's all with Chiron as well. And then the 19th, the sun enters into Taurus. The 20th is the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. And then the retrograde cycle ends on April 24th. So, what do you think about all of that?
Big shifts coming. It's exciting. And also, yeah, the work we can do now to help ourselves later might be really behoove us right now.
Well, I had a client, a viewer commented on the last video on the living our acquired wisdom. And she said, is this just me, or it seems like there's a lot going on? Is it always like that? And there's always, nature is always in cycle. But yes, I think that we could see it coming when we were doing our 2024 preview prediction. We could see that really. I'll put the link to that video at the end of this video. But yeah, it really feels like there's a lot going on, and it's a difficult energy. Eclipse season, Mercury retrograde, Jupiter Uranus. Whew. Yeah.
There's a lot going on. And yeah, I think the link to the video would be great. I kind of want to rewatch it too, because it is the time that we saw coming, like the kind of depressive, introverted states of winter that were going to push us to do some inner work to transform into the spring. And now And now we're doing that, starting to shift into the spring, and now it's ramping up, and it does feel like a lot. And
Yeah,
but it's
I
okay.
think that
It's
once,
like the wave. It was just flowing, and now it's the staccato, and it's building, and there'll be a crash, I bet you, around, or I shouldn't say like a crash, but
well,
a break
the wave
right around.
breaking. And I think that it's going to be really good in terms of at least achieving a clarity, you know. And if we take 2024 as a whole, you know, the year of the dragon, it's really
Yeah.
about manifesting what it is that our highest good is about. And so we have to be very courageous. We have to be very strong into what it is that we want to manifest. And I think a really big part of it is to tone down the noise, because there's a lot of crazy noise out there that can take you away from what it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's a good call. Another thing I've been thinking about a lot is propaganda, and just how much, if we get pulled into our, call it, amygdala hijack state, when we associate fear, overwhelm, it's so easy to limit our ability. And then, like you called the last video, like living our, was it living our collective wisdom, living our
Living our acquired wisdom.
acquired wisdom. Yeah, a great time to really like practice our sovereign right in that, and our strength in that.
Well, it's not an easy
Definitely.
thing, you know, living our acquired wisdom, you know, and it's not, it doesn't really matter what we say, you know, and we can profess our acquired wisdom, and but really it's what we do with it that really is, you know, wisdom in action. And if we do that, if we are courageous enough to, you know, live our wisdom, I was saying, you know, live as if we're walking with God, you know, the dignity and the courage to know that our ancestors and the gods are always with us, and we are their voice in the world. That courage and that dignity can go a long way in manifesting what it is that we are seeking to manifest in these times. You know, they're powerful times, they're difficult times, but we can never underestimate the power of our commitment to our destiny. And so I think that that's what the Jupiter Uranus conjunction is really all about, is this need to fully live um, this vision of ourselves, you know, what we see ourselves becoming, what we see our world becoming. And so having a clarity in that, let's just pray for that in this lunar eclipse, and then the next solar eclipse, to be able to really fully integrate this clarity of vision as to what it is that we're seeking to manifest.
I love it. When I hear that, one of the biggest things that come up for me is right relationship. Really been thinking and sitting with how to be in right relationship with my ancestors, with the nature, with those around me, with what's calling and what's coming from inside. Like, right relationship to me means, like, if you notice somebody who needs help up the steps, the thing in that moment that's most important is to help that person up the steps. Or if you feel that your body is needing attention, like stretch, dance, yoga, nourishment, whatever that looks like, water. If you keep thinking about your grandparents, like message them, or your parents, or your sister, or your brother in the world. So yeah, that right relationship with spirit is powerful, and it can be little things.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Well, it's been fun. I mean, we got to do a video um from two continents, like basically you're on the other half of the world.
Pretty much exactly the other half of the world. It's wild.
Far out, far out, far out. So more to be continued. Always delightful to share time with you, even though it's distant. And we want to acknowledge our viewers. Thanks for tuning in and for supporting the channel. And we'll keep them coming, however that's going to be.
Yeah, we'll see what naturally unfolds, and hope to see you all soon. And I wish you all a beautiful unfurling with this spring. if you're in the northern hemisphere.
Yes. And then if you want to connect with us, maybe you want a reading or some a consultation with Day, here's our Spirit of the Times 108 at gmail.com and Day by Day Healing at gmail.com. Of course.
I'm gonna caveat that with day by day healing. You can email, but I don't have access to that email while I'm on this trip. When I come back, which will be on the solar eclipse, then I will be much more active there and would love to connect with any of you after April 8th if you want to connect.
Yes, that's what I was going to say is you're
Okay.
a little bit occupied in transcendence and manifesting, renewing yourself on this beautiful pilgrimage that you are in. And maybe we'll touch base one more time before the solar eclipse.
That would be great. Let's try for sure.
All right. Thank you, Dayana.
Oh, thank you, Martin. It's so nice to connect and been loving your videos, and I'm glad to get to do one with you again. And I miss you. Big hugs.
Same thing here. Miss you lots, and lots of the comments on the video channel. Lots of folks are saying how much they miss you, and so it'll be a nice surprise for them to see you and to connect and to be updated on your travels.
Love you, Martin, and so much love to each of you watching. Thanks for watching, and happy lunar eclipse.
And perfect. The sun is shining in the back of you and giving you a glow.
I got up real early for the video, but now it's that time of day where it's going to be hot for many hours.
It's the sun is rising and the sun here is setting. Um, Perfect timing. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later.
Love
Bye
you.
for
Okay, so end.